Okay, listen, pay attention, Africa. You see, most times in Africa, in West Africa, in Nigeria, people say that the word Ekwensu do not mean Satan. It does not mean devil. Are they right? Follow me into a voyage. We are going to diagnose it and you are going to learn something. Pay attention. What if I tell you that every culture in Africa has a concept of Ekwensu as you have in the Igbo culture? Pay attention. You see, in the traditional Igbo culture, the concept of a devil as understood in Christian theology do not exist. What do I mean by that? In the Igbo cosmology, there is no such thing as devil or Satan. No, there is no such thing. The pre-colonial Igbo spirituality believed in the belief of Chi. That is a personal guardian or destiny assigned to one at birth by Chukwu Okike Abiyama. They believe in ancestral spirits. They believe in various deities like Arusi and the rest of it. However, with the coming of Christianity, the missionaries introduced the concept of a devil who is the ultimate force of evil. Now listen, the missionaries cannot teach the concept of a devil which is unknown and alien in the environment they have found themselves, without likening the unknown, which is the concept of a devil, to a concept that is already known to the people. Now, they began to study the deities that the people had, their qualities, and Ekwensu happened to be a quality that has some similarities with the Christian theology of a devil. Ekwensu was not seen as a being that is purely evil by the Igbo traditional culture. No, rather, Ekwensu was seen as a deity of negotiation, cunning, and sometimes war. It embodied tricky and change. It has qualities that was seen as morally neutral and situationally beneficial. Look at that last quality. Situationally beneficial. That is to say, how you treat it depends on how it responds. Situationally beneficial. If you happen not to be in its positive situation, it will not be beneficial. But if you happen to be in line with what it wants, it becomes what? Situationally beneficial to you, which is where the name lies. Ekwensu, onye kwe osu, meaning that onye ne kwegi ogadi esu. Do you understand? Now, the missionaries looked at the qualities of Ekwensu in the Igbo cultural setting. What is the number one quality? A deity of negotiation. Because when you have issue with someone, you go there for negotiation because people fear it. It has the quality of cunning, which has similarity with the Christian theology of a devil. It has the quality of what? A trickster. The quality of change. And it is situationally beneficial. They linked it, and it was immediately interchanged and interjected with the meaning of a devil. So when teaching whom the devil is, you say, for example, Ekwensu, so that the people could relate. Not really that Ekwensu is the devil, but it was something that they could pontificate for the people to have a mental vivid picture of what the Bible's Satan looked like in qualities. So let's go to the Hausa society. The Hausas by default were no Muslims. No. They had their own practices and their own belief even before they had contact with Islam in the 11th century through trade. Long even before Uthman Dan Fodio conquered with jihad, they had their own practices. They followed the traditional indigenous African religious practices. They believe in their own deities. They believe in supernatural beings and forces. And they believe in the supernatural force of a god, God, which they call Mako. They had their own animism and politicism. They had it. They had their buried traditions and the rest of it. But when they had contact with Islam, before then, they had deity which they call Iskoki. Iskoki was an entity that is not bad, it's not good. It is neutral, but can cause you harm or do you good depending on how it's being treated. Now look at the quality of Iskoki. It can cause you good or cause you harm depending on how it's being treated. That is to say, if it was to be Igbos in this setting, they will say that this is an Ekwensu, because if you do good, it will do you good. You do bad, it will do you bad. That means Onyekwe Osu in the case of Iskoki in the Hausa culture. You see the similarity between Iskoki and Ekwensu. What you do is what they give you, which has similarity in the Christian theology of a Satan. Not necessarily them being Satan, but similarity why their name was injected to become the Ekwensu, the devil, the Satan. Now, when Islam came, just like the Christian theology, in Islamic theology, Satan existed. There is a concept of a devil. Okay? So when they came, they introduced Iblis. Iblis happens to be a force, the ultimate force of evil that disobeyed Allah and tricked man to lead man astray. Now, the Hausas recognizes it as Shaitan, S-H-E-D-A-N, from the Arabic word Shaitan, S-H-A-Y-T-A-N. So that became their own concept of the devil. So if you open your Hausa Bible and look for Satan, you will not see Ekwensu. What you see is Iblis. Iblis. Now, in the Yoruba cosmology, there is no concept of a devil or Satan. They believe in the worship of Olodumare and spirituality, deities, entities like Orisha. Now, the Yoruba's cosmology believe in the existence of good and bad. They believe in the natural existence of good and bad. And life is the creation of the balance of this good and bad. Now, one of the most important Orisha in the Yoruba cosmology is the Eshu, E-S-U. The Eshu, or as they call Eshu, one of its quality is that it's a trickster. Eshu is a messenger between man and divine. It guides man in decision making, crossroads and choices. It is a deity that shows the unpredictability of life. Now, its quality is in contrast with the Western binary of good versus evil. And so over time, Eshu was misinterpreted to be a devil or a Satan. Now look at the quality of Eshu. One, that trickster. Remember, Ekwensu in the Igbo culture and tradition has a quality of being cunning. Remember, Iskoki or Iblis has a quality of what? It has a quality of whatever you give it, it gives you back. Naturally cunning. So when these people come to your culture, they study the deities that the people had and likened it with the concept of the devil. The deity that has a quality that existed in the quality of the Christian theology and concept of a devil was given the name devil. And over time, it was being used to teach the people on what and who the devil is in the Christian theology. And you know what happens over time? It becomes a creature, and over time, its meaning of those deities get lost in the midst of those words they were being used to teach. You cannot go to school and teach the unknown like an unknown. No, you teach the unknown using the known so that the students can understand. But what happened to the Igbos, Ekwensu, was that the Igbos are adventurous and industrious. As they travel, their words travel with them. Their language travels with them. And the early beginning of Nollywood spread a lot of the conception of the Igbo narratives, wrong narratives, that when you go around West Africa, everywhere, people know devil as Ekwensu because of the injection of that misinterpretation through the vehicle of Nollywood, because the Igbo narrative was highly sold with the vehicle of Nollywood. And today, even those that had Iskoki, the Hausas, and those that had Eshu, all know Ekwensu. And now everyone thinks that Ekwensu actually means the devil. So these are all what? Misconceptions. Ekwensu is not naturally or really the devil or Satan, but has the quality that was used to liken the Bible theology of a Satan or a devil. And over time, it became adopted and associated with the Bible Satan. Because the Ekwensu in the Igbo cultural tradition is nowhere close of a force to the Christian theology of whom the devil and the Satan is. I hope you learned something today. Wisdom Africa is the principal thing. I love when I care about you. Make sure you request for books, for research, and other things you need to know. I love when I care about you. Wisdom Africa, is the principal thing. I'm still going from schools to schools, giving school to African students. Okay, you can join this campaign to get our children to read. But if you can't join it, make sure you pray for us. I love when I care about you. Wisdom Africa is the principal thing.